HNSN, The Fan.
Good morning, Starshine.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Feel the beats.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the show. This is the VIP Podcast Global, presented by High Navy Life. I am your host, Ifan Jemal. In episode 6, we will talk about the Indiana Hoosiers winning their first Natty in school history. We have so much to say on this episode regarding college football. In episode 7, we will recap the Super Bowl and the NFL season. In episode 8 and 9, we will talk about the top sports trends in Singapore, Asia, and around the world. And also, I have a LeBalco Blames update. I'm not exactly sure when I will drop that rant, but we have some new details circling out of SoCal. I really want to get into that. And you know what? After thinking about it some more, we will just get into that in this episode. Just hang tight. And there will be no interviews. But I also have a taxi cab story I like to share. I have to find a way to get that in there, perhaps during the halftime segment, somehow, somewhere in the next episode. This will be the first of many of the Blitz episode series, all the way to episode 23, starting with episode 6. And we apologize for not being able to put out episodes week by week. We've been very busy, extremely busy. I've been traveling all over the place, getting business done, expanding the brand all over these destinations that we really needed to go to. But I'm back and I'm ready to get on this rant. And here is my rant on the Natty. This is the first half presented by your company. Number 1, Indiana Hoosiers versus the number 10 Miami Hurricanes at the Hard Rock Stadium. In the first half of the game, we got mostly feelers from both sides trying to figure out the schemes and agendas they both planned for this game. The game started out very gridiron until Indiana broke through first with the first field goal of the game by Nico Radicic. I hope I pronounced that right. I think so. Anyway, the next score came from a 1-yard touchdown run by Nowakowski, followed by another Radicic extra point. Actually, the first one was a field goal. This one was an extra point. Miami didn't score, however, and ended the first half with a doink.
And it doinks.
But in the second half, we saw better effort from the U. We got 2 touchdown runs by Mark Fletcher Jr. and a 22-yard pass and run to the end zone by Malachi Toney. That brought the game within 3 at its closest. But the incredible block, punt, scoop, and score, and how about the 4th and 5th TD run by Mendoza and the late game INT sealed the U's fate.
He's going to take off and run. Mendoza weaves his way, first and goal, diving toward the end zone. Touchdown!
When you culminate all of that together, it was just incredible to see. But pretty much the key stats for the game, Indiana pretty much dominated the game. Things like first downs, 3rd and 4th down conversions, total plays, the least penalized, time of possession, and the scoreboard. They win it 27-21 and claim their first Natty. Let me say this as well. In the second half, we also saw more uncalled calls of illegal grabbing, holding, and PIs 30-plus yards down the field that prevented TDs by Indiana to tally up and blow this game wide open. And it was pretty obvious that it happened. And what is even more obvious, that the legacy media completely overlooked these blatant corruption calls, missed calls engaged by the Big 12 referees. And let me say this more to my point. I used to live in Miami way back. There is a lot of money out there. You got teenagers pushing Lambos and Raris with no jobs, with their hair to the throne IDs. And I would just flat out say this. I wouldn't be surprised if Miami Vice's Esteban Calderon rose up from the dead and had his hands all over this game. I would just put it that way. But I want to roll it back even further than that right before the half. How about the doink with less than 1 minute?
Against Notre Dame in the opener. That was from 47. This is from 50. And it doinks off the right upright. That's the second time.
That doink pretty much summed up the first half for the Dirty Birds, which reminds me of the old cartoon from the Looney Tunes. You know, the drunken stork flying with the baby in its mouth, wrapped in white cloth, hiccuping all along the way, flying while intoxicated. That's how Miami looked on all of that pre-game trash talk. Drunken all talk and no action. And for the life of me, I cannot find out why exactly what type of animal the ibis is. I don't know am I even pronouncing it right? You know, the mascot, is it ibis or ibis? Is it a pelican? Is it a stork? Until I Googled it and found out that the ibis or ibis is an actual bird. Talking about being a doink.
And it doinks.
Now I know what the goalpost feels like. Remember all that trash talk, Miami fans. Remember all that trash talk you were doing? Things like Indiana hasn't seen a defense like ours. Doink.
And it doinks.
Our offensive line is bigger and stronger. Y'all about to find out.
And it doinks.
We beat Ohio State better than you. We will beat you.
And it doinks.
They never seen speed like us.
And it doinks.
I mean, how about this guy, Mark Fletcher Jr., showing no class after the game, trying to punch someone in the face because he was in his feelings.
And it doinks.
I mean, regardless of what transpired verbally, you don't go around hitting people. It's not like you feared for your life with all that police protection at the game. I mean, come on, make that make sense. You get the picture, sports fans. This is Miami Hurricanes that we're talking about. They have a abbreviation, a reputation known as Thug University. And it was on full display throughout the game, and especially in that situation with Mark Fletcher Jr. And Miami Hurricanes, I have a question. Why do you talk so much? You really thought you were going to win without cheating? I mean, even with the cheating, you still got punked in your own crib. And how about the false start late in the game by Miami? I mean, how the hell did that happen? What happened to home field advantage, Miami? I know why.
One thing to say.
Hoosiers. That's why. Give it up for the IU fans, man. Just give it up for the IU fans. Man, they showed up. They owned Hard Rock Stadium. And that's what I'm talking about. It was beautiful to see. And let me also say this. If you're looking at the score, you're probably saying, wow, what a close game. Let me be the first one to tell you. This game should have never been this close. Even a blind person can see that. Again, how many blatant miss pass interferences, holding calls, and illegal contact calls did we see by Miami? Many calls. We lost count. And Miami fan, I don't want to hear from you talking about, well, Indiana did the same thing. Maybe just a little bit, but you did it far more than anybody else. Okay? So that ball is in your court, my guy, on plays that would have resulted in what? Touchdowns for Indiana. Indiana should have won this game by 20 points, but we got Vegas allegedly controlling the refs with Miami house money. And I don't want, like I said, I don't want to hear from you naysayers. Swipe left. You tried to cheat and it failed, but maybe you won the under. That's about it. Or maybe that's what it was all about. Who knows? What I do know is this. don't even think about trying to blame President Trump in this, because you know how that goes. And I hate to really try to tie in politics in this, but somehow, some way, we'll get some emailer that'll email us and say it's President Trump's fault. And he doesn't even play football. He has nothing to do with this. So don't even go there. He has nothing to do with you getting a big fat L all over your face. And that's a fact. Got some emails. Dear Ifan, leave it up to the refs to ruin the monumental game. Signed, a neutral fan. Handsome Nerd ASMR YouTube channel. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm saying. We totally agree with that email. Thanks, Handsome Nerd ASMR. Next. Dear Ifan, you mean to tell me Miami lost to Mendoza and Jamari Sharp, two solid Miami guys? The same two guys who sealed your fate with the big kahunas TD run and game-winning pick? How did that taste, Miami? Oops. Congratulations to the Indiana Hoosiers winning the Natty. This was your year. Voodoo rant accomplished. Sincerely, Christy and Olivia in Tallahassee. Knowles Nation. Christy and Olivia emailed the show, and I can't help but think about them. I was saying to myself, I bet one of the first few emails that we will see in our inbox will be from Christy and Olivia, because they've been going at it with the U fans from the start of the season. Since they lost to the Canes earlier, and they broke out with that classic email, let's go, everyone on Miami's schedule, beat the Canes, this is your year. So they get to end it with that for this season on this show. Classic. And you can listen to all of those interactions on our previous episodes, by the way, on our podcast at highnavi.com/podcast. That's HAINAV as in victory, I.com/podcast. But I have a question for Olivia and Christy. Are you finally going to celebrate on campus or in Bloomington? Inquiring Minds wants to know. Next, dear Ifan, that rushing touchdown by Mendoza was worth 3 passing touchdowns. Signed, Wall Street, Peter in Singapore. Yeah, that was one of the most extraordinary runs ever. I would say that made the stock market go up. And by the way, speaking of stock market and impact on the community in terms of people watching, that game garnered over 30 million viewers, by the way. And we used to get emails from especially LeBalco fans that would say, oh, nobody watches games like that because of cell phones, etc., etc. Well, this just proved that their thesis is incorrect. These are the same type of numbers the Chicago Bulls used to pull when MJ used to play back in the day. So it just proves that it can happen when there is actually interest in what they're watching. My point is, nobody's interested in LeBalco or the NBA that way. That's why I say college football is on the rise. It's on the up. It's coming. And same with the NFL. Next, dear Ifan, it's all about the IU. Sincerely, Hoosiers. Chad in Bloomington. You're right. Anyway, let's take a quick break. When we come back, I have an NBA take to get to, followed by college football recap and what to expect next season. All that is coming up after the break. This is the VIP's Podcast Global, presented by High Navi Life. Keep it locked.
HNSN, The Fan.
Dylan Joyce back on. Marks in the air, blocks the punt, and falls on it for a touchdown. Isaiah Jones on the recovery. Got to get to the 8. He's going to take off and run. Mendoza weaves his way first and goal. Diving toward the end zone. Touchdown. Indiana back up 10.
Unreal follows his blockers. Drew Evans leads his way in there. Also gets behind Kalon Black, but really it was about what Mendoza was determined to do. Back in his home city.
Stepped up, delivers downfield, and intercepted! Jamari Sharp makes the pick that will clinch Indiana's first national championship. Century of futility is forgotten. The Indiana Hoosiers are the kings of college football.
Hello everyone, this is James over at High Navi Radio 2452. We are now accepting new DJ mixes and singles from artists in Singapore and all over the world, focused on the genre of deep house, hip-hop, neo-soul and ambient hits from artists like you've probably never heard before. We are the #1 international digital online radio station in Singapore, promoting you for free. And by all means, please let everyone know and support our station by purchasing our merch. This really helps us keep things up and running smoothly. At the same time, promotes our brand and you. So, we will be waiting for your submissions so we can play your hits right here on High Navi Radio 2452. Thanks everyone for listening. Feel the beat.
Tired of some of that same old bland, greasy, fast food fried chicken? Pop into Popeyes and pick up that great original New Orleans flavor. Served with golden French fries or tasty Cajun rice. Add some crunchy Popeyes onion rings. They're sliced, spiced, and fried just right. Fresh, homemade. Love it.
That's that chicken from Popeyes. That's that chicken from Popeyes. That's that chicken.
Daddy Smoke.
Place like this. There's no
Place like this.
This is the place.
This is the place I call home.
Our home.
This is where 1212 and 112 are not just dancing steps. Where our back streets live on as galleries and museums. This is where we live amongst trees. Carve them out of metal and make them electric. Where impossibilities lead us to endless possibilities. This is where old school, new school, and what no school can teach come together. Here, every day is a new canvas. The old school cool. This is where rhymes, chimes, and the daily grime meet. There's no place. This is where who you were will not be who you will become. This is where all that you're passionate about, all that drives you, is made possible. This is where passion is made possible.
This is your stage.
Visit Singapore.
My tiger kung fu is better than yours.
Welcome back. This is the halftime segment presented by your company, Ifan Jemal, VIP's Podcast Global, presented by High Navi Life as well. I want to get into this taxi cab story. Perhaps we need to move this to episode 7 during the half, because I really need to talk about this NBA real quick. As some of you may already know, the biggest story that has hit the sports news cycle, or at least one of them, is the family drama with the Lakers, of course. Jeanie Buss, who recently sold the purple and the gold to Mark Walter, the CEO of TWG Global, for a record-setting $10 billion USD. But Jeanie is still the Lakers governor and calls the shots within the new structure with a 15% stake, and several sources have reported that she is getting fed up with the world's most fatigued basketball player in the history of all sports. I would go as far as that. None other than, you ready? LeBalco blames LeBron James. Even though we haven't met Jeanie personally, perhaps maybe one day we will. Who knows? Life can be very amazing at times. But in this case, in regards to finding out why she is growing tired of him, it is written all over social media. I do have some things to add to her statement, but first let's go over her initial comments. According to Full Court Pass, here is the rundown of the things he mentions. Quotes, grumbled about LeBron's outsized ego. That was one. Two, she felt Clutch exerted too much control. 3, didn't like how LeBron was considered a savior. 4, lack of accountability over the Westbrook trade. 5, privately mused about not giving him, she's talking about LeBron, a contract extension and trading him. 6, felt LeBron was not grateful that the Lakers drafted Bronny. And finally, she begrudgingly gave him a contract extension, fearing a bad PR hit. That's PR for public relations, basically the media. End of quotes. Just a reminder, I repeat things like this once in a while just to educate our local fan base here in Singapore, and as well as the surrounding regions, Hong Kong, Australia. It's kind of like sports 101 for dummies. I have to do that. We want to educate everybody. So for all the pro guys out there, all the vets, please bear with us. Sometimes we have to do that, all right? But there's plenty more substance for you, all the vets out there, like this one. Let me say this, more on Jeanie Buss. Isn't it wonderful how the truth works? You know the saying, what you do in the dark shall come to light? And why am I not surprised by any of these reports? I mean, anyone that is objectively honest, you can see this from the asteroid belt. I mean, let's start with number 1. Grumbled about LeBron's outsized ego. And here's my take for that. He is an egotistical maniac. And I absolutely have to say yes on that. I mean, he has to be the center of attention. If someone is getting more attention than he has to always inject himself in every situation, prop himself up, and tear you down. He is an A+ student at this. We have seen this so many times throughout his entire career, and this is why he has to tell everyone he is greater than he actually is. He fears that when he retires, pay attention, sports fans, he fears that when he retires, most people will forget him. And this is going to happen. This is his greatest fear, and he knows this. And that is why he won't retire willingly. He has to be forced out. He is into the fame, not the game. Okay? And this is true. When you're great, you let your peers tell you you're great. You don't have to keep telling yourself, I'm great, I'm great, I'm great. Like, I don't do that. Like, I don't go around telling myself I'm great. I just do the best of my abilities, and so be it. I believe in myself, and that's it. If my peers want to say nice things about me, then so be it. I say thank you. I appreciate what you said, and that's it. You know, of course I'll be naturally humbled, but not LeBron. He doesn't do that. And I just really think that LeBron is in for a very rude awakening. The writing is all over the wall. It's coming. And his ignorant fan base, they're also in for a rude awakening. Let's go to the next one. Number 2, she felt Clutch exerted too much control. You think? Jeanie, at that time, you were the owner when all this went down, right? Nobody should have more control than you. And Jeanie seems like a very nice person, even though there are reports that she's very mean to her family. But she seems like a nice person, and that just got taken advantage of. That's what it seems to me. And she's had enough. She's fed up. And I don't know. Why would she say something like exerted too much control? Because if you're a person that stands on principle in business, you wouldn't allow yourself to be even put in that position. You would call it out right there on the spot. So I think she probably gave up more ground than she really wanted to. And she just probably rolled out the red carpet for him. And I think LeBron took advantage of that. And so that's what I think she meant by clutch, exerted too much control. Number 3, didn't like how LeBron was considered a savior. Totally agree there. Look at how many good players were traded away for this clown. All you got to do is start in 2020. Actually, before that, a couple years before that, 2018, look at all the good players. Lonzo Ball, what's the guy down in the Pelicans who's now playing with somebody else? I can't even recall his name. The Ingram kid. All these guys. Imagine those guys were on this team now. How good this team would be. The LeBron system doesn't work. Okay. Number 4, I think. Lack of accountability. The Westbrook trade. I mean, are you surprised? LeBalco is not accountable for anything in his career. This is why we call him LeBalco Blames, because he blames everybody else and he props himself up. Not a good person to be around. Next, privately mused about not giving him a contract extension and trading him. And felt LeBron was not grateful that the Lakers drafted Bronny. And of course, she begrudgingly gave him a contract extension, fearing a bad PR hit. But let me say this. Look, if it were me and I were Jeanie, or I was her advisor, let's just say that LeBalco would have been out of the NBA long ago if I had anything to do with it. If anyone tries to undermine my company willingly and try to PR hit me, there is no way that person will be employed or even working in my industry ever again. He'll be finished. I mean, with all the anti-doping and illegal gambling chatter going on, with the feds and the other 3-letter agencies hot on the trail, with all that going on, I'm making that visit and making a call to them and see if there's anything I could do to add to those cases. Legally speaking, of course. So that is airtight, and we will never hear from this clown again. And I'm dead serious here. And I will leave this here. Remember Lance Armstrong? Remember him? He denied everything to the very end until he couldn't. This was inevitable. And more to my point, I would just distance myself as far as possible from anyone like that. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. This guy is a ticking time bomb, and it's only a matter of time before everything blows up in his face. It's coming. And I guarantee you the race card will be used as a damage control situation. Guarantee it. Mark my words. And that's my rant for that. All right. Anyway, let's take a real quick break. When we come back, I want to recap college football. Keep it locked.
HNSN, the Fan.
Second violation on the Cavaliers. Oh! Miller threw that in the hole! Do you believe it?
Oh my goodness! Carol Wallace. Oh my goodness! Did you see what I saw? My goodness!
What a punctuation mark to this one! Oh me, oh my! What a play! Pump fake, doubled up. Here's a pass stolen by Jordan. It's a 3-on-2 for the Bulls. Michael in the drive, in for the right. Play jam! And a foul, that's all! Oh man! Kelly Tripucka couldn't run out of the play quick enough. Jordan was bearing down on him from the sky. Paxton goes inside to it. Prayer there defensively has 3 fouls. Jordan backs in. Double! Whoa! Double pump, a left-handed drag off the glass and in, my man. Take a look at Mike's basket here, driving across. Watch the guys that take a shot at him here. He draws a crowd. Here comes Mullen in. Oh, look at all the shirts there. Throws it up off the glass. Yeah.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Listen to the Goat Fusion Mix every day. Playing the best of deep house, boom bap, neo-soul, drum and bass, and more. Also check out the Retro Goat Fusion Mix and the Golden Sound.
Playing the best of all genres in the 70s, 80s and 90s.
And don't forget to tune into our live events broadcasting live.
From destinations you love.
Right here on HNSN. Feel the Beat Radio 2452. Feel the beat.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. The most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
Just keep on coming.
Welcome to the second half, presented by Your Company on the VIP's Podcast Global, presented by High Navy Life. Let's get into some emails before we get into our last segment. Dear Ethan, what are you talking about? LeBron retired years ago. He's just collecting his $52 million. And a dead clock is always right twice a day. Sincerely, the anti-doping doomsday clock. First time emailer, Jasmine near crypto.com arena. That's a good one. Thanks for emailing the show, Jasmine. Dear Ethan, how dare LeBron overstay his welcome with the Lakers? Maybe I should call the cops. Signed, the lady who showered for 4 hours straight and was arrested at Planet Fitness. First time emailer, Mario in Burbank. That's a really good email, Mario. And I saw that video on the Hodge Twins. That was insane. Dear Ethan, it's very common for someone to show erratic behavior, like mood swings, when you are not in the center of attention. Please understand, LeBron is at the age when this happens. Signed, menopause, and every woman's clinic around the world. First time emailer, Jerry in Beverly Hills. P.S. We want our Lakers back. It's amazing. It's amazing. Thanks, Jerry. Thanks for emailing the show. It's amazing how all these Lakers are emailing the show. True Laker fans. Isn't that funny? But the legacy media will have you fooled like the Lakers are actually for LeBron, which we know that's the furthest thing from the truth. Real Lakers want him gone. I mean, did you forget about the mural that was torn down that had LeBron's face all over it? They tore it down. They don't even want this guy in this town because he's not a true Laker. Kobe Bryant is a true Laker. Magic Johnson is a true Laker. Even though Kareem was traded in the 70s to the Lakers from the Bucks, he is a true Laker. His allegiance is to the Lakers, not the Bucks, even though he had some success there. I mean, he went to school at UCLA. You get what I'm saying? James Worthy is a true Laker. Hell, even Kurt Rambis is more of a Laker than LeBron James. Dear Ethan, I can handle LeBron for you. I can make him pack his bags once and for all, and you can get your team back in record time. We could talk about it when we play in March. Sincerely, Pat Riley. John in Miami. P.S. Congratulations to the Indiana Hoosiers. You are the better team. Knowles fans still suck. John finally checked in. Wait, John, I want to say a couple things. First off, thank you for emailing once again with a banger. I know it's a tough loss, I know you're suffering right now. And I think your email is also the perfect segue to talk about college football. And your Pat Riley email is right on the money. He pretty much ran LeBron out of Miami because he tried to monkey wrench the team with his same old tactics, trying to fire Coach Spoelstra, among other things. And yes, that is a fact, okay? I don't care what those Google AI altered information says, all right? We know LeBron is the master at disinformation to try to sway popular opinion. We already know that. And don't forget about the biogenesis and everything else. Staring at MJ's retired jersey with jealousy. You know he was doing that, all right? He wanted to get, if he had his way, he would have that jersey taken down so he could wear 23. And with that being said, I don't wish this upon anyone, no matter who it is, regarding civilized people. God forbid the GOAT gets upgraded, right? I could truly see, after that happens, I could truly see all 4 major sports leagues, universities, and even perhaps around the world retire the number 23 out of respect to MJ. I can see that coming. And this will probably never happen while he's alive, just because Michael probably wouldn't like it. But once he's upgraded, that's a totally different story. I mean, can you imagine the rage LeBalco would have? That would probably send him over the edge. I mean, think about it. He played in the number 23 most of his career. And to have that number 23 retire in the name of MJ, I mean, it basically says you don't exist.
You have the charisma of a damp rag and the appearance of a low-grade bank clerk.
That's why Kobe went 24. Kobe will always be remembered. I'm glad Kobe didn't play in number 23. Kobe played in 8 and 24. LeBalco should have stayed with number 6. That's what he should have did. He should have owned that number, not 23. Anyway, let's move along here. Anyway, I have to say I really enjoyed the college football season. College football, it was really great. I think the one thing that I really enjoyed about it was the parity of it all. I mean, nobody had Indiana and Miami as their top picks. Even we didn't even have that. I was giving the benefit of the doubt to Ohio State. I was saying Ohio State would probably be in the mix of things, and they were. I didn't think they would win it, but I knew they would be in the mix just because they won it the year prior. I'm a Clemson Tigers fan. I know we sucked. I know we weren't going to get nowhere near that. I think we were overrated from the very top. And that's why these rankers and these so-called pundits get it wrong all the time, because they're usually voting with, let's say, incentives in their heart and not with true knowledge. And I think from here going out, I think when you start to see these rankings going forward, you're going to see a different thing. Indiana Hoosiers will not be the end. You're going to see teams that you never thought would make it, because Coach Natty from Indiana opened a whole Pandora's box on how to win in college football. A lot of people are going to be following this blueprint, and it's going to be even more competitive. I don't think Indiana is going to have this type of season again. I'm not saying they're going to win. They could win. They're my number 1 pick for next year to be ranked number 1 because they have a lot of people coming back. But their system is really remarkable, and that system will transcend to other teams. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see a team like UCF win. You know, they could copy that system, as well as a lot of other teams. You might see a Ball State rise out of nowhere. Will it happen next year? Probably not, but you get my point. There's going to be a lot of teams that rise up that you never heard of, that you didn't expect. I think the SEC is dead. You probably won't. They'll be competitive within themselves, but I don't think they're going to make any push unless they utilize the Indiana system to their advantage. I thought Ole Miss had a great year. James Madison obviously deserved, they earned their spot to be there, but they were clearly outmatched. Let me say this, sports fans. This is the new way. Just like The Mandalorian, this is the way. It's not going to change. They're definitely going to tweak it. They're going to make it better, and the playoffs probably will expand eventually. Not right now. I don't think it should expand right now. I think it should stay the way it is until the competition diversifies out, and then we can expand accordingly. But overall, I really, really, really enjoyed college football. It's sad to see it come to an end, but that just gets us prepared for next season. I can't wait to see what happens next year, and I really enjoy college football. It is by far my number one favorite sport right now. Okay, let's get in 2 more emails before we sign off. Dear Ifan, do you want to know how many reps he does to pump his ego? And do you want to know how many alleged injections I have done without getting any credit? I seen it all. Maybe when he retires, I don't have to worry about getting thrown under the bus. I will finally get my spotlight. Sincerely, the Needle and the DEA Files. Brooklyn and Jacksonville. P.S. I love you, Daddy. Well, I love you too, Brooklyn. And for those who don't know, that is my daughter who is holding it down out in the Ville. Duval. Thanks for emailing the show, Brooklyn. Here's the last email. Next. Dear Ifan, what's your take on Charles Barkley placing not 1, but 2 large bets on Miami to beat Indiana? I get that the line was 7.5, but Indiana were the clear favorites. Is he a glutton for punishment? And to be fair, at least he acknowledges when he loses. Signed, Neil Heffernan in Fukuoka. My man Neil finally emailed the show. And my man, that is a good question. Is he a glutton for punishment? I would have to say no. That's for people who have no business gambling and they don't necessarily have the money. The reason Sir Charles can do it is this, quote, I can afford to gamble, end of quote. That's right from Sir Charles' mouth himself. And he is right. And according to my calculator, he has a total net worth of $90 million USD. Although it's not clear how much he lost in the Natty, he said in the past he has won a milli 10 times and lost that amount 30 times in his entire career of placing bets. I mean, keep in mind, he also is making money with journalism contracts around 210 million USD, and that doesn't even include the war chest of endorsements. So it's safe to say he is not losing here. He is not a Terry Watanabe pissing away 350 mil. Get what I'm saying? I mean, thank God he's not that guy. But I will say he needs better intel on how he plays bets. He just got to he just got to have better knowledge. Miami was never going to win that game, even with the cheating, Big 12 refs or not. Indiana was just too good. If they played 10 times in any stadium with no interference, I would say 9 of the 10 times would be blowouts by Indiana. And I stand on that statement, 10 toes and 10 fingers. And I would go as far as using Neil's 10 toes and fingers to second that. Get what I'm saying? My brother. Thanks for emailing the show, man. That's my man Neil Heffernan out of Fukuoka. First time emailer, and again, thanks for emailing the show. Anyway, it's been a pleasure, sports fans. We are out of time. Until next time, we will catch you on the next episode. This is Ifan Jemal signing off. This is episode 6 of the VIP's Podcast Global, presented by High Navy Life.
HNSN, The Fan.